Hey friends, welcome to my video series called Average Bronco, where I'll be talking about basically an average Bronco. My Bronco is not the base model, but it's not the top model, and it's not gonna be the top model with mods that I'm gonna do to it. It's gonna be kind of right in the middle. An average guy is gonna drive an average Bronco. If you're watching this video, you probably have some level of interest in the new Ford Bronco, whether you're thinking about getting one, whether you've ordered one, or whether you're already driving one. This video is going to show you what the ordering process was for the first go round with the 2021 Ford Bronco. So everybody heard the buzz, you saw what was happening, all the talk and all the discussion, the kind of cryptic stuff that was happening, shadows and things like that, different types of prototypes that you saw. Is that really going to be it? There was a number of different types of looks that the Bronco actually turned out to look nothing like those. June 13th, 2020 rolls around. Now remember, we're right in the middle of the pandemic. So Ford is kind of taking a chance launching this thing right in the middle of a pandemic, but nevertheless, it's one of those things where they already had the goal to do this, so they may as well follow through with it. So the email comes out on July 13th of 2020, and it's the Join the Reveal email. So they put out this really cool video, and actually a really cool video. Here's a quick peek at it.
This country has a strange relationship with the wild. As much as we talk about it, and paint paintings of it, and sing songs about how we're destined to be it, we seem to spend every waking hour in places that keep us away from it. So to get back to the wild, we need something built for it. Something that acts like it's been out here before, because it has. Introducing the return of a legend. The all-new Bronco two-door, the first ever Bronco four-door.
I mean, it's a good hype video, right? It's something you would see before a football game or something like that, before one team plays a big team or something like that. It kind of hypes you up. That night, I think there were some network commercials that I think this very same video was supposed to play on 2 or 3 different networks, like the big launch nationwide on national television. So that night, orders opened up, pre-orders, registration or reservations, if you will. Now it was a reservation to place an order. You weren't actually placing your order. You were pretty much going through the process, but you were saying, I want a vehicle and I want to have a chance at ordering it. The website crashed that night. I don't know what Ford calls it, but it crashed. I was in immedately. Never got all the way through the website. It kept crashing. What I was shooting for is I was going for one of the first editions. They have I believe it was 6 different packages of the Ford Bronco, with the first edition being the top one. Obviously the priciest one, but it had all the bells and whistles. Now the reason why I wanted that is not because I could afford it, but because I felt like if you're going to get a reissue, you may as well invest in one that's going to be worth money, because if you don't like it, at least you can offload it and not lose money. Little did I realize what the resale of these things was going to be. But nevertheless, I was shooting for the first edition. Again, if I had to offload it, I wasn't going to lose money. Well, the website crashed again on that night, July 13th. Never came back up. I tried from, I believe it was 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, somewhere around that, until probably midnight. And I was like, I just gave up. Next morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. Website worked. Jumped on. All the first editions were gone. You could not reserve a first edition at that point. So I jumped to the next one. Now, the reason why at this point it seemed critical to me to get in on the Wild Track, which was the next one, is because at the time, only the first edition and only the Wild Track were said to be available with the 2.7 liter engine. I wanted the 2.7 liter engine. I've had a Jeep Wrangler before. The Jeep Wrangler wouldn't get out of its own way. That V6 was very, very slow. Going from a V8, which is the truck that I drive has a V8, I would pull out and I would have to plan pulling out in traffic because I knew that I couldn't accelerate fast enough to get out of the way. Reason for bringing all that up is because the 2.7 liter in the Bronco was very important to me, because I did not want to go back to where I was when I drove my Jeep. So I was kind of panicky, but went through the motions. I got a Wild Track. I reserved a Wild Track on June 14th, the day after the reservations actually opened. So we all kind of knew that we weren't going to be getting our Broncos anytime soon, so not a big deal. October 22nd, 2020, I get an email. The email was a product update that talked about molded in color and black hardtops. Basically, what they're saying in this email is that the black painted hardtop was not going to be an option at this point anymore. So Ford was essentially announcing that only the MIC, the molded in color, would be available at this point, and potentially towards the end of 2021 that the black painted might be an option, which I will say this, they were not an option still going through the end of this year in 2021. But anyway, this email was pretty much an update saying that they were taking that off the board, the black painted hardtops. Now, just a side note, I don't remember at the time of ordering if the first edition and Wild Track came standard with the molded in color hardtop, but with the announcement in this email, they were stating that now, at least, the first editions and Wild Tracks would come standard with the molded in color, not a soft top and not the black painted. December 15th, 2020. This email stated that instead of the representatives contacting you and building these orders online with you in December, that it would be pushed back to January, and January, February, March would be the time frame that would take place. Not a big deal, just kind of an update on their scheduling. January 21st, 2021. My representative, good friend of mine, Kendall Pruitt over at Mike Willis Ford, contacted me, and we went through the details, even though I had put all of my reservation information in on the website on July 14th of 2020. We went through all that again to make sure this was the actual build. This was the actual putting the pieces together and deciding exactly what you wanted. It was kind of a process back in July to outline that a little bit and maybe give you a chance to think it through to make sure those were the things you wanted. Now was game time. Now you were actually going to select the things you wanted on your 2021 Bronco. You'll see here I got my confirmed order email, and this is all the details on the Bronco that I wanted. Again, I wanted the two-door, I wanted the Wild Track, I wanted the 2.7 liter. March 25th, 2021. This is where things, other than the slowdown of the ordering process, this is where things started to look a little bit, I guess, iffy. Not sure if things were going to happen when they say they were going to happen. Essentially pushing back some of the ordering, saying that some people, instead of getting a 2021 Bronco, would now be getting a year model 2022. The trade-off on that was that they were now going to offer sound deadening headliner on all the hardtops. The one I ordered, I had actually ordered the upgrade for the hardtop, so I think they were supposed to credit me. I guess I need to go back and check that. They were supposed to credit me for what I had already ordered, since everybody else now was getting it for free and I was going to be paying for it. May 12th, 2021, scheduling change. Now the email states that my Bronco is to be built July 5th, 2021. Hey, I saw this as progress. You know what I mean? They actually finally established a date, July 5th, 2021. They're going to start putting metal and screws together, building my Bronco. I was happy with this. June 22nd, 2021. Again, you kind of get the feeling that Ford is really feeling bad and probably getting a little bit of blowback. Anytime you see emails like this, it's pretty much a hang tight email, like, we hear you email. Anytime you see that, you know that there's probably a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of people complaining, reaching out to Ford and just voicing their, I guess, not being very happy with the whole process and the delay in it. Not realizing that, we're experiencing supply chain issues and of course the whole Corona stuff and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of variables thrown in this to give Ford some challenges in trying to put a brand new product out that hadn't been out for decades. June 25th, I get an email. Remember, my Bronco was supposed to be built July 5th. Not so fast, my friend. August 2nd is now when my Bronco is going to be built. Not a big deal, month away. I mean, you've waited this long, right? This was actually a year prior that I was making that reservation anyway. So, I mean, we've gone 365 days. It's not like an extra month was going to really cause me a whole lot of problems and a lot of grief. August 13th, 2021. Yikes! We got some hardtop issues. This was when they realized that the molded in color hardtops were now starting to delaminate. Big deal, big problem. A lot of hardtops were ordered and these hardtops were not holding together. So they were scrapping the entire batch of hardtops and making all new hardtops. So all of you, including me, who had ordered their Broncos with a hardtop were now put on the back burner. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way from Ford. I would rather Ford in some cases to have not sent that to me anyway. I mean, there's no guarantee that the molded in color hardtop I have now is not going to delaminate or have a problem, but at least they think this one's legit. The other one they knew they had issues with. So imagine the issue of shipping all those Broncos out and then having to either recall them or changed them out one by one by one by one across the nation at various shops up into Canada, you name it. Consider the problems that would have been, facing Ford had they shipped all these hardtops out with that delaminating hardtop. So I don't have a problem with them making this a delay in the process as a result of that, a recognized problem. Kind of a quality control thing. I commend anybody that is willing to sacrifice something in the name of good quality control. November 21st, 2021, I get an email saying that my Bronco has been built. Now, granted, I knew my Bronco had been built for at least a couple of months now. Remember, the molded in color hardtop was delaminating. So my Bronco had been built. It was sitting, everybody kind of jokes about Dirt Mountain, that's where all these Broncos were being held that had the hardtops. But now mine apparently had the hardtop that was supposed to come with it, the good one now, the new one, the replacement one. And my Bronco was now supposed to be delivered somewhere in the second week of December. So that was good news to me. November 30th, 2021, I get an email and subject line reads, "Your Bronco just rolled off the assembly line." Very cool email. Very cool email. It was neat to see that. They had a link on there where you could click on it and actually see a picture of your actual Bronco rolling off the assembly line. Now, I belong to some Bronco groups. I think it's Bronco 6G is a really good one on Facebook. And it was neat because you'd been seeing people posting their pictures of their Broncos. And of course, when they came in, they compared them to that. So I had every reason to believe that these were legitimate photos. And of course, when mine came in, looked just like it. They do point out that even though this is an assembly line picture that rolls off, any extras or any accessories that you ordered with your Bronco may not be on it at that time. And I did notice that there was a couple little small minor things. I think the rooftop rails maybe that weren't on my Bronco at the time. But really cool seeing the picture of it. They also had a link to a video that shows you a little bit higher end, I guess, than a kind of a nice production model video of the whole production process at the factory. So that was kind of cool to see. It's neat that they did that. All in all, the process was not a really painful process. Again, all things considered with the potential delays. So that's the order process. That's how it went down. I don't expect the 2022 models are going to be quite so much like that. I will say that after receiving the vehicle from Mike Willis Ford in Lake Charles, I will also say that we have another dealer over here in Lake Charles, Bolton Ford, that is also selling them. I was really happy with it. The guys at Mike Willis Ford were awesome to work with. Great dealership over there, made it very, very painless. I think they realized the squeeze of the customer being eager to get their Broncos. So they tried to roll those Broncos out as they came in off the trucks as fast as possible. And of course, we have trucking issues right now too, with all the shipping and all that. So every possible challenge that could be thrown at the release of a new vehicle probably happened for the release of this 2021 Bronco. And I still got mine this year. Again, I think I got mine December 9th. It was on a Thursday, I believe. So real happy with that. My videos going forward for the Average Bronco video channel, you're going to be seeing some minor mods. Again, I'm calling it Average Bronco because I'm not doing crazy stuff. I'll lift it. I'll do small little cosmetic upgrades. I'll tell you how things work, what they do, how to do certain things, what different features are on the Bronco. But this is pretty much my introductory video to show you what the ordering and the building process was and how my Bronco went from a concept online to actually sitting in my driveway.